Okay, so let's get started. First things first, you got to figure out how tall you want your numbers. For me, my daughter's about 5 feet, so I decided to stick with 5 feet. I also decided that I wanted my width to be 8 inches and my depth to be 6 inches. So once I had my measurements, I went ahead and got my foam board ready. As you can see, I chose black, but if you've ever looked at the foam board, they have a variety of colors. What you need is obviously foam board, a ruler, masking tape, X-Acto knife, pencil, glue, hot glue gun, and glue sticks. And as you can see, I already drew my lines on mine, which mine again is 6 inches in depth, and it is 8 inches wide. So now all I'm gonna do is begin to cut mine with my X-Acto knife, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that my pieces are all cut, these are my 6 inch for the depth of my number 1. And these are my 8 inches for the width of my number 1. And now we're just gonna put these two together by using masking tape. Okay, so this is my 8 inches in the width of my number 1, and this is my masking tape. Again, I'm gonna cut some off and just put it on my number so it keeps it together, just like so. And then we're gonna flip it around and put some on the other side. So again, more masking tape. Make sure it's nice and tight, and now it's gonna keep your number 1 together. Okay, so now that I connected my 2 pieces for my number 1 with the masking tape, as you see there, again, this is 8 inches wide for my number and 6 inches in depth. So I already started by putting hot glue just right in the corner where my 2 pieces meet, and I'm just going to continue that process into my whole number is complete. So again, just hot glue, and be careful and just continue that whole process and just hold it together till it's nice and dry. Okay, so now that I already put all my hot glue right in the corner, I'm gonna work on the end of my number 1. And again, my depth is 6 inches by 8 inches wide. So I already have my drawing with my ruler here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I would actually recommend you guys use white foam board because black is a little bit hard, but again, I couldn't find any white, so I had to go with this, especially because I did want my number bigger. But yeah, so now that I have it, I'm gonna cut it with my X-Acto knife, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I cut it all out, I'm gonna hot glue first this little edge right here, then put it where it needs to go, hold it in place till the hot glue dries, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put hot glue right in that corner right here, and then same thing for this corner right here. Okay, so as you can see, I already hot glued this corner. I also hot glued this corner right here, and same with this one. And the hot glue just makes it look really messy, but you're not gonna see any of this because obviously you're gonna stick your balloons in there. But one thing I did want to say, for mine, I used the color black in my foam board, and I actually started just using my Sharpie marker to just color in these edges, just because, as you can see, since my foam board is black and then this edge shows white, it just looks a little weird, so I just decided to color it in. Okay, so let's finish off our number 1. And so this is the final result. I love the way it turned out. My daughter picked the colors and they look great. I was so worried about doing the number 2 that I completely forgot to get smaller balloons. So when I did go last minute, not last minute, but when I did go to the store to find balloons, they pretty much only have about 9-inch rounds, I think is what it's called, 9-inch rounds. So they're pretty big, especially because the width of my number is 8 inches. So you definitely don't want to fully inflate them to their full capacity. But one thing I did want to show you guys just really quick, just because again, all these balloons are about 9-inch rounds, but if you can see, I did a bunch of little really tiny ones, and I just wanted to show you. So this is a 9-inch round. Okay, so I'm gonna blow it up really quick. Okay, that's not even to its full capacity, but okay, I'm just trying to show you guys so you guys can see. So this wouldn't have even fit on the actual number, but if you guys deflate it, and then push all the air to the end, and I'll just deflate it as small as you want, and push all the air to the tippy top. As you can see, if you want it a little bit smaller, again, just continue to deflate it. Okay. Obviously, as small as you want it, that's pretty small. Then what you're gonna do is just twist it and make sure all your air is on the tippy top. Okay, so I have a bunch of balloon left over. Okay, and this is just if you couldn't find the smaller balloons, or if you waited like me last minute. Again, I was so nervous on actually doing the numbers, I completely forgot about the balloons. But like this, you push all the air to the tippy top, give it a good twist, and then just tie it. 1 minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then just make sure you push it, the knot all the way to the tippy top. And again, you have all this left over, and you could actually cut it. I did not cut it, I just left it so it's kind of back there. And then I just put a glue dot here and a glue dot here, and just kind of put it up against the other balloons. But this is just if you want to make them, if you want to make the really small ones. I think it gives it a great little look. But if not, you could just use the big balloons. Those ones are pretty easy because they just really get stuck in between the walls. So the big ones actually don't really need a lot of glue dots, but honestly for the small ones, I used about like 3 glue dots. I used a lot of glue dots. I was pretty surprised, but I'm luckily I had them available. But yeah, just in case you want to make the really small ones. Again, this is a 9-inch round, but you could also turn them really tiny just by using just the tippy top of it. And again, you cut it off. I left mine. You can't really see it just because, again, they're really wedged in. But yeah, just in case you want to try it. I actually did the number 2, obviously, off camera because I was really nervous about doing it. But I will include some footage of how to get the roundness in case you need it for any other numbers, or if you're going to do the number 2, or if you're going to do shapes. You could also do letters. But yeah, that was it. Again, I will include the footage of how you get the roundness. Sorry I didn't include it. I was honestly super nervous, but I wanted to start off with the number 2 first, and if the number 2 came out, then obviously I would continue with the number 1, but I worked on number 2 first. It looked good, so I continued. And again, you don't have to make them this big. Mine are 5 feet. But if you're, it's up to you if you really want to go for it. But I think I should have gone a little bit smaller. But my daughter wanted 5 feet, and I thought she was going to be 11, so I thought it was going to be easy. And then when I was getting the cardboard, she was like, "No, Mom, I'm going to be 12." So yeah, so then I had to walk the walk because I had already talked the talk. So it was a 2, not a 1. She's 12. Can you believe it? Oh, so crazy how fast time flies. But hope you guys liked it. And thank you for watching. Bye. Okay, and to do any roundness in any shape or number, for example, a 0, a 9, a 8, a 2, this is what you're gonna do. So you're gonna get your X-Acto knife and a ruler. And for me, I only do about, just hold it the width of my ruler, depending on the size of your ruler, but it could be like every 1 inch. And just go lightly on your X-Acto knife. You don't want to go all the way through. You just pretty much want to break the first layer of paper, not the actual foam, and definitely don't go all the way through. And just continue that step till you get the amount that you want. Just like so. Remember, don't go all the way through. Just pretty much, you just want to break the first layer of paper. Okay, so now that we have all our lines done, if you could see that, I'm not zooming in, there we go. So now that we have all the lines, remember, you're not going all the way through. As you can see, my lines are not visible on the back side, just on the front. And so the next step is just to lightly bend it, and it's gonna crack just like that. And it's gonna create a little dent. And so we're gonna keep going. And so now that's what's gonna give us the roundness that we need for any number or shape or even letter. So yeah, that's what I use for my number 2.